is 13 and 5/8. Question for you. What if I had 13 and 11/8? What if I had 13 and 11/8? Do we leave an answer like that? No, why not, Lucas?
Because there's what? 11 is bigger than 8.
Right. We have an improper fraction within a mixed number. So I have to take this 11/8 and I have to change it. What is 11/8 the same thing as? 11 divided by 8. 8 goes into 11 once, which is 8, which leaves you with 3. So 11/8 is the same thing as 1 whole and 3 out of 8 parts of a whole. But I also have this 13 here. So what's your answer then? 14 and 3/8. Very good. 14 and 3/8. Okay. Now that's just an example. There was one I know on a homework assignment that was that way. That we had to change that mixed number and improper fraction combo into just a mixed number. We don't want an improper fraction there. Did you get that? All right, the next one. Try that one, please. All right, so you have 7/10. You have to take 5 times 2 to get 10. So I take 2 times 2, which is 4. Can I take 4/10 minus 7/10? No. So I have to borrow, right? I borrow from the 78, making it 77. And I bring over how much? 1. What is 1 and 4/10 as an improper fraction? 14/10. And I am subtracting 7/10 from it. What is 14/10 minus 7/10? 7/10. Now remember, some of you borrow and you don't cross this off and make it a 77. What's 77 minus 14? 63. So 63 and 7/10 is your answer. Question. All right, can you work through number 3? Okay, so we have to add the 2 segments together in order to find the whole, because we know each part. So we need to take 7 and 1/8, and I have to add to it 5 and 2/7. What's your common denominator? 56. Okay, so I take 7 times 8. So I have to take 2 times 8. 2 times 8 is 16. Take 8 times 7. 1 times 7, which is 7. If I add, how much do you get? 23 over 56. And then you take 7 plus 5, which is 12. And it's talking about a length, so I need some units. They don't tell me specific units. They don't say centimeters, inches, anything like that. So I'm just going to label it as units. All right. Question on that one? Did you do number 4 yet? Try number 4. Would they give you the whole part and they give you another part, so they want you to find the last part given the whole. So we need to subtract the 2 values. So we have to get a common denominator, which is 77. So I take 11 times 7. So 2 times 7 is 14. And I have to take 7 times 11, which is just 11. Can I take 11 minus 14? No, so we have to borrow. So 42 becomes 41. And I bring over 1 whole. What is 1 and 11/7 is an improper fraction. Add these two together and you get 88 over 77. It's 77 times 1 plus 11. So 88 over 77 minus 14 over 77. I had 11 pieces and I brought over 77 more with a whole, right? If you subtract those, what do you get? 74 out of 77. Now what I want to do is take 41 minus 24. So I have to borrow from the 4 to make it 3, and I get 11. 11 minus 4, 7. And 3 minus 2 is 1. It's a length. What units do we have? Oh, it's just units again. How are we with that subtraction part? Big numbers, right? Big numbers make you kind of panic. Yep. It means you're having another 77 pieces, same as the denominator. How many parts you want to break it into. Okay, number 5. Number 5 deals with some terminology in a way. Can you show me with your hands what are perpendicular lines? These perpendicular lines? What are perpendicular lines? Every single one of you has parallel lines. What's perpendicular? There's your perpendicular lines, which are across. Okay. So the question says, when you have perpendicular, think of it this way. When you write parallel, when you write the word parallel, you draw parallel lines. So if they're not this way, which way do they got to be? Perpendicular or the cross? So the question says, so then perpendicular lines are like this. Okay? They want to know what angles are formed by lines that are perpendicular. What angles are these right here? Right angles. So right angles are formed by perpendicular lines. Turn the page. What angles are formed by 2 right angles? So here's a right angle, and here's a right angle. When I put the 2 together, what type of an angle do I get? Straight angle. Number 7. What is an acute angle? less than 90, and greater than 0. An angle less than 90 and greater than 0. Do you remember a way we can write that? Show that as an inequality. So angle whose measure is greater than 0 and less than 90. It's another way we could show that. Great. What is an obtuse angle?
Less than 180.
Greater than 90. And less than 180 degrees. The way that we were showing that, or said that you could show it with inequalities, your angle measure is greater than 90, but less than 180. Okay with that? Number 9. What's your answer? 90 degrees. What is the measure of a right angle? 90 degrees. Let me know. We'll get the joke up there.
Hold on. I'm gonna find that.
Is it there somewhere? It's probably. What's the degree measure of a straight angle? 180 degrees. It's a straight line. So number 11 says how many degrees are in a circle?
360.
360 degrees. All right, here we go. 12. 2 terms we got to know. What do you call polygons in which the sides have the same length? Equilateral. Equilateral is when the sides have the same measure. 13 says, what do you call polygons in which all angles have the same measure? Equiangular. Very good. Oh, you guys have seen this question a lot. Number 14. Number 14. What is the name of a quadrilateral that has 2 pairs of parallel sides? A rhombus is a special type. A rectangle is a special type. It was a bell ringer one day. Parallelogram. Two pairs of parallel sides is a parallelogram. Special types: rectangle, rhombus, square. Those are special types of parallelograms. Number 15 says, what is the name of a quadrilateral that has exactly 2 parallel sides? Exactly 2 parallel sides means that you only have one pair of parallel sides. Not a rhombus. Trapezoid. Very good. Trapezoid. "16 says, what is a rectangle? It's a special type of parallelogram. What type of a parallelogram is it? What do you know? What's the difference between, okay, I'll tell you this much. Rectangle is going to be a combination of two of these right here. What is it? What is a rectangle? It's a combination of two words from 12 to 14. Not 12 and 13. Which is a rectangle a parallelogram? Yes, because it has two pairs of parallel sides. Now you need to tell me, is it equilateral or equiangular? Equiangular. So a rectangle is an equiangular parallelogram. You need to stand up, Lucas. 17, what is a rhombus? Well, is a rhombus a parallelogram? Yes, it is. Equilateral, all the sides are equal. Parallelograms have how many sides? 4, which makes it what type of a polygon? What do we call a four-sided polygon? Not a triangle, not a pentagon. Begins with a Q. Quadrilateral. Yep. 18. 18 says, what is a square? 4 equal sides, which means it is equilateral. What else? Equiangular. And if it's both equilateral and equiangular, what do we call it? A shorter word, so I don't have to write out both those long words. We have regular. So we can write one short word that means both of those, which is regular parallelogram or quadrilateral. So regular parallelogram, equilateral and equiangular. Remember that. Regular means equilateral and equiangular. Do you need to write that down somewhere? Or do you know that? Regular means equilateral and equiangular. Means the combination of them. Write it on this sheet if you want. On your note. Well, you can write it there too. You may have it there already. But Elijah, a good place to put it is on here to study for your test. Number 19. Oh. This right here has a box in it. How many degrees is that? 90. So I know that this is 90 degrees. And this angle here is 50 degrees. And what do we know? That's 140. So I take 90 plus 50 plus, what angle is that? X plus angle X. And if I add all the angles in a triangle together, it equals how much? 180. So what is 90 plus 50? 140. So 140 plus what is equal to 180? 40. You're going to subtract the sum from 180, and you find out that X is equal to 40 degrees. The sum of the angles of a triangle equals 180 degrees. So for number 20, where you have a triangle that looks like this is Y, this is 58, and this is 60. What? You need 62. Well, you take 60 plus 58, and that gives you, I want to add those, 118. So I take 180 minus 118, and you end up with 62. Okay. I would make sure